Hi, welcome back to my film and TV channel. Yes, we have a simply named title film today called Steve. That's it, just Steve. It's a drama directed by Tim Milliance and written by Max Porter, based on the 2023 novella called Shy, one of the characters in the actual film. Peter de Brugge of Variety magazine and website said, a profoundly moving and superbly acted diamond in the rough. Gregory Elwood, though, from the playlist, didn't quite agree. He said it's melodrama for melodrama's sake, with an awkward attempt at a happy ending that is borderline cringe. I'm nearer Gregory on this one, I think. Yep, please, guys, if you are new to the channel, before we talk about this, please hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you've not already done so. You enjoy the content, and please, if you've got any hype points to spare on YouTube, hype, give us some of those. It helps the algorithms, helps the channel, helps me. That'd be most appreciated. So if you can spare any, give that a push. We'll have a chat later on about a couple of other ways of helping support the channel as well. Right, let's get back onto this film. This stars in the lead role Cillian Murphy, or Cillian Murphy, however you pronounce that, Cillian. We'll call it Cillian, that's how I always pronounce it. Tracy Ullman, it's nice to see Tracy. It's been a long time since I've seen Tracy Ullman in any TV or film work. Jake Lacugo, Simbi Adjquawo, and Emily Watson. Yes, and I see Emily Watson as well. What's it about? Well, it's quite simple. Steve, the guy in the lead role of this, is a head teacher in charge of a school for boys with societal and behavioural difficulties. That's it. I mean, obviously, I've had knowledge of children with ADHD and stuff like this. So yeah, it's troubled kids. It's one of those schools that probably not that many around these days. They try and put them back into the normal means of things with school assistants and stuff like that. But interesting concept. It's sort of, for me, this probably would have been better as a docudrama. But as I say, it's a film based on that sort of work, which is very, very beneficial and very worthwhile. Of course, it is. This was released in select cinemas in the UK and the United States on the 19th of September. It's streamed on Netflix on the 3rd of October. I'm doing this review a few days later. I've been away, so perhaps 3 or 4 days longer to review this than normal. I'm reviewing it on the 11th of October. My thoughts on this, will give other people's little thoughts as well. I think Steve's got a great ending, but it's the getting there that didn't work for me. It all seemed out of kilter with the rest of the story. It lacked a little bit of depth in the telling. The acting away from the main guys, or the main people that we do know, was a little bit iffy. The story was a little bit iffy. It didn't quite come together. It didn't quite gel for me, make any sort of real sense. And of course, up until that last 10 or 15 minutes, I was just not invested that much, sadly. As I say, despite the efforts of people like Murphy, Emily Watson, etc. And as Gregory Elwood said earlier, it all had a sort of melodramatic and cringy feel to it by the time we got to the end, because it didn't back up what I'd seen the previous hour and 20 minutes or so of this film. Cillian Murphy, of course, is excellent. It's excellent, and they don't even dive deep enough into his backstory and his problems, which sort of suddenly appear as the film progresses. But again, it just seems all a little bit out of phase with what's going on screen. It doesn't quite work. And of course, you've got the likes of Emily Watson and Tracy Ullman doing some great stuff. But again, overall, just a bit of wasted talent for me. Richard Lawson from IndieWire, he didn't like it either. He said he give it 42 out of 100. He said the film is trying quite hard to be bracing and immersive depiction of rehabilitation's hard soil, but Steve is instead a pantomime, an offhanded approximation of work that fails to convincingly show us the actual work. Absolutely, it's just, we know it's there, it's just not explained it or got into it to how it should be, and how a subject matter like this should be handled. It's just it's all very weakly done for me. It just needs to be deeper. It just needs to be harder. I say it just lacked a lot. I say I would have rather watched a docudrama based on a real school or stuff like that than actually watch this attempt. Miriam Belenscu of Empire, though, she was one of the people that was impressed with this. She gave it 80 out of 100 and said, making full use of Cillian Murphy's emotional range, Steve is a railing portrayal of a broken education system and contemporary cinema's worthy answer to Dead Poets Society. Wow. I don't think Dead Poets Society and this film, Steve, should be mentioned in the same sentence in actuality. I mean, I felt I'd say Miriam's not alone in liking it, but that's high praise indeed. I would go back and watch Dead Poets Society numerous times before. I would never ever think of going back and watching this again, that's for sure. I just wanted it to be better than it was. Just not put together for me well enough to justify the melodramatic ending, has already been pointed out. And despite Cillian's brave attempts to lift this, it just wasn't watchable enough for me throughout. And it's one of those things. If I hadn't been reviewing it, I might have just turned it off. May just give up about halfway through because it lacked any sort of cohesion or sort of storytelling to actually give you any interest in it whatsoever. Which is a shame because it's a very serious subject matter. Of course, it is. These things need to be done as entertainment. It's all right. Entertain. You don't want to be entertained by stuff like this. But as I say, the last 10 or 15 minutes, we needed a Dead Poets Society, and we didn't, did we? I mean, it's well and truly buried this one. It was awful. Rotten Tomatoes, though, as I say, I am in the minority, although I'm not alone. Rotten Tomatoes, 76% of 85 critics were positive, 65 were fresh, 20 rotten, so a big chunk of rotten. But as I said, it is well like this. I'm not in the majority on this at all. So make that 20 rotten, 21, because I'm just going to go rotten on this, probably about 60-40% rotten. The website's consensus, a sobering drama, well, it could have been, that throws everything along with the kitchen sink at its doggedly determined hero. I don't think it did. I don't think it quite did. I say we get it all into the latter half of the film. It just missed out a little bit. They go on to say Steve's pile-up of crises can constrain credulity, but Cillian Murphy's superb performance keeps it grounded in reality. Now there I do agree. Nothing wrong with Cillian Murphy's performance at all. Metacritic 65 out of 100, that's based on 25, but 12 were positive, 13 were mixed, and no negative. Now I'm gonna be mixed on this. I'm not gonna give it a decent score. I don't think it was worth it. I think it just missed out. But I'm mixed on it. I'm not gonna be totally negative because it has a serious subject matter. I don't want to particularly be down on it. It's just the way it was put over for me. So I'll be mixed on it as far as Metacritic's concerned. Rotten Tomato users are okay with it, 6.5. Over on Internet Movie Database, we've got just over 7,000 scores and reviews. Joe Public, quite like it. Yeah, 6.5 out of 10. As I said, I am in the minority on this one. I say I'm not going to give this a score at all, guys. If I don't give something a 5, then I don't usually bother. I can't give this. I want to give it at least a 5 because of the actual content and what it's all about, but I just don't think the story as it's told, despite Cillian Murphy's best efforts, I can sort of recommend it in any way. So I'm not going to score it a 5. I'm not going to give this one a score of a little bit unimpressed with what came on screen. But as I said, a lot of people are liking it a lot more than me. Let me know if you did, as I say, aside from that last 20 minutes or so, which I thought needed a Dead Poets Society lead up, which we didn't get anywhere near, unfortunately. Thanks for watching, guys. Please, if you've hit those buttons and subscribed, please, if you want to contact me, you can through YouTube or my little socials, and to find out how to do that. Or if you just want to support the channel in other ways, sponsorships, etc., you can. All you ever have to do is keep watching and listening. Again, hope you enjoyed the feature, guys. Thanks for watching. Please, if you did enjoy the content, please give us a thumbs up, and if you've not already done so, press that subscribe button. If you've not already subscribed, that'd be wonderful. It's free to subscribe, absolutely free. Also, check out my social media links if you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. They'll all be in the description below. And my special thanks to supporters of the channel, yes, Piat6505, who have an eBay shop selling film and TV memorabilia, including posters, books, magazines. There'll be a link again in the comments section. And if you're into your football, don't forget my football stuff on Manchester City, for general football fans, but mainly City fans, of course. Or if you know someone who might enjoy that, give them a kick in my direction. I'll be very, very grateful. And as ever, guys, comments on this feature is wonderful. Anything to do with film and TV is always very, very welcome. It's great to talk film and TV. I thank you guys for your support. Stay safe, everyone.